Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Well, we are in southern Utah and we're doing a little bit of, I guess, scouting and investigating today. We are out by Panguitch Lake out here. It is the middle of July, and although it's, what, mid-70s? Mid-70s today, it is a very high UV index. So that's why we have these sun hoodies on. Somebody asked about that. They were like, oh, do you have those on for bugs? There are no bugs up here because it gets so cold and we're high elevation. Well, the reason we are out here is because in 1978, the Nevada, Utah, and GEMS Atlas has a little X on the map for south of Panguitch Lake for Jasper and agate. Now, the thing is out here, there's a lot of stuff. If somebody says there's stuff, there's probably stuff. And we stopped down at the boat launch to put the dog in some water, and there's like kind of cruddy chalcedony already there. So we're in the right place, we're in the right spot. And back there is, I believe that's Cooper's Knoll, and back there we have some basalt. And we're going to go look for some jasper. I'm not convinced.
I mean, I think we're going to find some, but I'm not sure the quantity or quality because it's on the ground. So.
Yeah, there's like kind of brown, red, maroon chalcedony out here. And is that what people have interpreted as jasper? Or is there actual, like, no light goes through it, jasper? And if so, what does it look like? I have not been able to find any photos or anything like that online. But before we go tromping around, let's look at the page in this real quick. So this is what the map looks like. Not a whole lot of details, but Panguitch Lake right there. Some X's on the map, like a treasure map. So we will head out and see if this is correct. So I just got to say real quick, because I've been thinking about this all morning, the UV index goes from 1 to 11 plus, which I find to be super annoying. Like, give me like a 1 to 10 or like a 1 to 100, but what is 11 plus and what is the plus? Is it like plus 5? I don't know. It's just not a good scale, but it's high here. So that's
Maybe
why
it just rarely hits 11 plus in most places. So there's like, don't bother fleshing out the scale.
Yeah, I guess so. All right. Well, there's this basalt boulder field here, and that's what we're going to kind of look around in. And right here at this fire ring, I'll show you this. Let's look. So we got basalt, and right here is this. Let's take it into the shade a little bit. All right. So clearly, kind of a, let's see, let's get some nice light on it. Okay, we have this kind of milky piece of chalcedony with some color. It's obviously all cracked up, it's been sitting out. But what the heck am I to do with this? Nothing. So I'm very curious, you know, people blend the lines between chalcedony and jasper quite often. So it's kind of cool to see this.
Get a little higher, it'll be more impressive looking. Go like a...
So what Sarah's sitting on right there is basalt, and we're like late Eocene. And then you can see right here, we have what I could see maybe somebody like confusing for a jasper. I don't believe it is. I mean, light is definitely going into this. It's clearly like chalcedony with like little inclusions or like little dendrites and mossy bits. And we're got the flow kind of going over it. And then what's across kind of this meadow that people clearly camp in at some points in time, it's like a tuff or like a rhyolite. It's a little, I'm not exactly sure, but we're going to head up there and go poke around in that. The rhyolite out here, oh here, here's a little chip of it. Maybe we'll look at this under the microscope. The rhyolite out here, it's often like really like gray, very gray compared to what I'm used to. So from a distance, the kind of white, light gray rhyolite and like a volcanic tuff they look very similar. They look similar. But let's go walk uphill, and I'll try to not get out of breath. And I have
Probably
what
will.
somebody maybe thinks is Jasper. So just about everything in the road is similar. Well, you get it. I'm starting to really think a no to Jasper, a yes to chalcedony and agate and things like that, but we'll see.
Definitely some red
Yeah.
stuff. Maybe it becomes more Jasper-y. Yeah, I mean, what are you calling that?
I mean, if you really want to like get into it, SiO2 plus junk, technical terms. No, I would say, you know, that's like a very inclusion-rich piece of chalcedony. But then you have, like, it's just a wide variety of stuff.
This is good, but it's got bugs all over it. But it's very red.
Yeah. It's not that entirely opaque Jasper, which is what I think most people, including myself, are going to be thinking of. So while the agate and chalcedony might be abundant out here, just like almost southern Utah in general, I think part of the challenge is finding stuff that's good. That's the challenge, because a lot of what I have here at this spot is super fractured up. Like, you know, Sarah was just saying, like, tap it with a hammer and it's gonna blow up. Like, you're not cutting and polishing it, or if you are, it's gonna be rough. But like, just this little like UTV kind of road here, if you were to like pick up all of the, well, here, you'll see, let's look. All of these rocks here are chalcedony, and then, you know, I saw one that had a little bit of banding in it, and we get different inclusions in this stuff, and it ranges from like a red to a brown, and some of it's like kind of heavily fractured up. What are you going to do with this stuff? I don't think you do anything with it.
Yeah. Looks like a
I mean, that's kind of like the...
It's like an agate limb.
Oh, that could be fun. You want to wash that off? That's actually kind of neat. Let's,
Yeah, I don't know.
what the heck am I looking at here? We don't have enough water to rinse this here.
Leave it in the road, we'll come back for it.
I think we'll forget this. Yeah, that is like an agate limb.
Maybe
Or like a casting, you know?
Somebody left it, maybe. Clearly this is a camp spot.
Is it? Oh yeah, there's a little firing there. I think this will go in my bag.
Oh, okay. There's a lot of different colors. There's like dark, almost black, and bright red, and yellow, and I saw some like solid white.
That's true.
I mean, it's a nice variety of colors. I guess if you just wanted to wash them and put them on a shelf, but like when it's so abundant, it's less exciting to find.
I agree.
And it becomes less interesting. You're like, yeah, we picked up one of tens of thousands of pieces out here. Here it is, and you're like, well, that wasn't. You didn't earn it.
It's not. Yeah, it's different when it's just like rock picking up versus like putting in effort.
Where you're like, that's kind of neat. Like I haven't seen anything like that.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's keep walking uphill.
Where's the basalt we were on?
Oh yeah, there's the basalt flow. But here you can see the volcanic tuff. And it's all this compressed ash. Nice thick layer here. And we do have this stuff, but nothing I'm too particularly interested in.
Who knows what's out there?
Yeah, that's a good question. So down there, obviously, people are like kind of boondocking full time in it. That looks like basalt. I know it's hard for you to see. That's basalt. We got some more areas to kind of explore out here. Yeah, it's interesting to look at these old books, these old maps, and see, well, if there's anything left. Because, you know, that's kind of the thing, right? People will be like, oh, if you share a spot, it's going to be stripped clean in days.
I don't think out here you can strip a spot.
A book printed in 1978 still has a lot of stuff, and I'm sure, you know, digging down or really like being super picky and slicing some of it, you can find some good stuff. But this is not exactly what I'm super excited about. Sure gets steep quick.
Very much right between, kind of, I feel like it's between an agate and a jasper.
Yeah, we should wash that and then we'll do some investigating back at the house.
It's already pretty clean, but
yeah,
we'll
let's take that.
You take it?
Oh, yeah, I'll take it.
No, you want me to take it? We have a bucket. We don't have a bucket. Or maybe there's a better piece.
Drove a little bit more to the north, and there's some indicators that I saw here next to the road that I wanted to stop and check out. After all, scouting. There's kind of this hillside here, and it's all sloughing down, and it's very white. It's very white, and I've seen some stuff like this right here. I'm just sliding down. You can see some broken pieces of chalcedony. You can kind of see right in the middle of your screen there what I'm talking about. And this is it. Yeah, so kind of a big seam. Not Jasper though, not Jasper. We'll put that back because look, there's a little thing living under there. We'll put it back gently, gently. Watch out, little guy. Hopefully he's fine. Yeah, let's walk up a little more and check that out. But I assume we're just gonna be finding stuff like that. Pretty out here. Very pretty. Got some basalt up there. I dig it. The elevation still gets to me. Sorry about that. Looking at this rock in here, I see stuff like this, and I'm like, eh. It kind of has some of that resemblance to the Brine Head Formation, which isn't the worst thing in the world to come across, but I do have a little bit of a hard time being so excited about it when we have some places like, I mean, that's not that bad, is it? You could definitely get some nice things out of that, for sure. It's just all tumbling down. I don't know how much more I want to go up. It's like going up a 45-degree angle. Lots and lots of seams and some pretty stuff like that. That's kind of pretty. That's probably a giant seam right in the middle. I don't know, that's over like 150 foot up from where I'm currently at. I read this thing online that said, well, I don't want to go that way, there's cactuses. I read this thing online that said it can take 3 to 6 months to adjust for elevation change. You know, we lived at 2,000 foot elevation, and now we live at 6,000 foot, and we go and do stuff like this at 8, 9, 10, 11,000 foot, and I find myself just sucking wind. I don't know if there's like a trick to this, to accelerating the progression of getting used to elevation, but I definitely am struggling at times. All right, so I got this piece, not Jasper, but it's pretty, and it needs washing. So I don't know if there's Jasper out here. We got stuff to wash off. I'm pretty sure it's just going to be darker brown, creamy, caramel colored inclusions in chalcedony, and not that entirely opaque kind of Jasper like, you know, we've seen in many places before. But that is yet to be determined. And you found what we might want, could be a limb cast. So we'll get that cleaned up. Back at the house. Thoughts?
I mean, there definitely could be Jasper out here. It's such a extremely large area, and there's a lot to investigate and look through, and there's also a lot of geological like things going on.
Yeah.
So it's possible. Might have just not found it.
I do think, though, it is pretty cool that in this book from 1978 that we're finding stuff. Like, it's still... It goes against the narrative of once something's printed or talked about, there's nothing left. That is a narrative that is said often.
Yeah, this area is a little exceptional. Like, there's no way to be nothing left. It's so too abundant.
Yeah. Side note, this Nevada-Utah Gem Atlas from the 70s, they printed it up well up into, I think, the very early 90s. Now, I'm not exactly sure how it was distributed. I never saw any ads for it in old Rack and Gems or lapidary journals or anything. I think they were primarily sold at like gas stations and stuff. If you know any history of this, if you like bought one of these, they also have like a national one, which I also have some of those. I would love to hear your thoughts on that. If you like purchased one back in 1978. All right. Yeah. Let's head back to the house. We'll get this stuff washed up and we'll check it out. Well, I can kind of say that the Nevada-Utah Gem Atlas from 1978 led us a little astray. I mean, they were partially correct.
Who knows where those X's really are referring to?
So we didn't find any Jasper, but we did find chalcedony with different inclusions, and some of it looks fairly nice, I think. Like, you know, I think that would look pretty good if we did a little bit of cutting on this.
That line's kind of interesting.
Yeah. So, obviously, you know, this is just kind of a sampling of what could potentially be out there. We really weren't looking for this stuff.
That's a good one, though.
Yeah. But by comparison, we can look at a piece of Jasper. This is from Henderson's Flats in Central Oregon. And, you know, I was kind of thinking more this, where it's this entirely opaque Jasper. I mean, that's what you think of. You do not think of things like this. Now, this thing here, well, here, let's look at this. So there are some good colors, and I can kind of see how a person a long time ago may have, yeah, you get some light penetration.
Not much. I mean, just that little corner.
Yeah.
I don't know. Yeah, I could definitely see people calling that Jasper.
This is, I would say, a borderline piece.
You have to cut it.
Yeah, there'll be some cutting action. This, okay, so it didn't really make it into the video, but when we were walking around in some of the basalt like fields there, there's clearly like almost like I don't know for sure if it was a casting, but at the very least there was some large cylindrical holes in the basalt. Now, for it to be a casting, if you don't know, if you haven't seen any of those types of videos that we've done here, that would be, imagine a basalt lava flow going through a wooded area, and as it hits something wet like a log or a branch, something to that effect, it will create a void around that, and it will burn up and turn into carbon, but you'll have a mold, essentially. And I believe that's what we have here. We have a casting. It does kind of match in a number of ways. The real test will be lopping off the ends of it, which I cannot really do right now. All my saw blades are still very packed up, but it has all the indications of being a casting. So
there wasn't really anything else that looked like that out there either.
Yeah. So that's the one thing that I'm kind of excited about. These other pieces, yeah, like some are clearly a piece of chalcedony, some are going to be a little bit more opaque, but I don't believe we have... Yeah.
It's pretty solid. I think I could... I don't know if that's Jasper or... It does have a little agate in there.
We start to really get into the into the weeds here. It's important to point out that you have minerals, and a mixture of those minerals make up these rocks. So all of these here, well, I guess I didn't test this thing, but all of these have a hardness of around 6.5 to 7. Using Mohs hardness picks, it's not super precise. But I did test these, and we are kind of there. And the line between chalcedony that's heavily included, and Jasper really comes down to how it was formed, right? And I don't have a time machine, and when you have things that are so blended, it's just a little difficult. It's not a dead ringer. It's not a dead ringer for a piece of Jasper.
There wasn't very much either.
Yeah, so overall,
still,
the area is interesting. It's fun to go find a X on the map and head out and check it out. Any other thoughts on it?
There was a lot of area out there. We certainly could have missed it. We're not really going by very precise location details.
No, we are not.
So, yeah, maybe at some point, maybe we'll see if anyone else knows anything and head back out there and drive down a different road, because there's like an infinite number of roads out there in public lands.
Yeah, and the thing that's important to point out is that there is a lot of agate, chalcedony, different inclusions, different stuff out in that kind of region. So to go to an area with a lot of stuff that's kind of at least surface fractured, when you have other places where it's not really fractured, I wouldn't really recommend that as a area for this stuff. These will probably end up being outside rocks, except for that until I can get that cut. But some nice Jasper would be make me happy. So maybe you'll figure it out.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for coming by and coming along with us on this little adventure as we go try to figure these things out. And with that said, we'll leave this one here. Thanks for watching. Go check out currentlyrockhounding.com, and I'll catch you in the next video. There's an ant carrying that moth wing.
How are they going to get it?
Don't fall. He's right at the end. Oh, wait,
How
no.
are they going to get it in the hole to the anthill?
I don't know.
It's too big. I guess they'll tear it apart.
Crazy.
It's like a sail. That ant needs to learn
Needs help.
wind and physics, because he's sailing himself in the wrong direction.
Oh! Oh.
Put it down flat, not up.
Yeah.
If we knew where it was going, we could
There's
help
his buddy.
it. Yeah, it's a 2-ant job.
This might be at the end of the video.
Oh, he's going the other way now.
Wait, I don't know where he's going. We'll leave him be. We're stressing him out.
It's like,
He's got work
stop
to do.
watching me.